I began to develop what I would call a philosophy of business, how to do business. It's not the philosophy, it's a philosophy, it's my philosophy. And I'll encourage you as we talk through this tonight over the next 20, 25 minutes, that I'm going to encourage you, as you'll hear, to take the time to cultivate your own philosophy and your own understanding of what's most important. It's very important for you to decide what's the important thing for you to be doing right now in your life, in your business, in your relationships. And we're going to start that. So let me click on the screen here and get this thing rolling. And I'm going to get that going right there. And there we are. I'm going to reduce this side over here. I assume everybody can see me because I can't see y'all. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to talk about the signs of success. They are the plus, the minus, the multiplication, and division signs. Pretty easy to remember. I think after tonight, you'll never look at them the same. I hope not. Now, you see my little website down there, davidbeavers.net. Just as a little shameless self-promotion here, I'm going to let you know that starting in the next month or two, I'm going to launch a blog. I've written blogs before. I'm going to maybe do a podcast, this type of thing, but I'm kind of starting from scratch. So if you've not signed up for that, I just didn't go into my virtual office and sign everybody on my team up. You have to want to do this. So you'll go to my website. There's a place there where it says stay in touch. So I encourage you to do that. So enough about that. The signs of success. And let me see what we're really talking about here is my personal philosophy. These are ways I come to understand how I do the business, the way I approach the business, and really without even saying or talking about plus, minus, divide, add, whatever, this is what I'm doing all the time when I'm working with people. The minus, as you'll see, is about goals. I'll explain that in just a minute. The plus is about adding to your business, adding customers, adding partners, a lot of addition. And you'll see in a minute how that is really foundational to everything we do. The times sign, the multiplication sign, is about multiplying your efforts, exponential growth. And then the division sign is going to be about how as your business grows and you're being pulled in a lot of directions. This is one of the problems of getting successful in this business, is that it's a 24/7 proposition if you allow it, and you're pulled in many directions. So you've got to be able to divide your time. You've got to be able to discern what's most important to you in building your business and building your own life. So here are the signs of success, and it comes down to this. It's cultivating what I would call the art form of focus. And you will find out as we go through this little conversation tonight that the most successful in life, and however you want to determine success, right? But we're talking about Juice Plus. The most successful people in Juice Plus are those who have learned to focus. Have learned to focus, and that'll get clear as we go through here tonight. And here's what I mean by focus. I simply mean that you've developed the disciplined pursuit of less. Now that kind of goes with goals, you see, because when the minus sign is about goals. That's about letting go of things because you can't do everything. We're all plagued. We're all all of us, everybody, the people in Juice Plus are such incredible people. They're a lot of, we're just people pleasers, right? We love people. That's another sign of success. We love people, but it's also our downfall because we suffer from FOMO. We have a fear of missing out. We don't want to miss out on anything. We don't want to let anybody down. We don't want to let anybody become disappointed in us. So we try to do everything. And what you're going to find is this piece of focus is about learning the disciplined pursuit of less, because if you don't, you're going to fall into the undisciplined pursuit of more and more and more. And the problem with setting goals is not that we're uncommitted and we won't commit to anything. We're committed to too many things. And that's what makes it hard to grow and develop and really create the business that we both want. Now, here's the deal. We on the left, you see the plus sign. That's the building, that's the adding. And you're going to see in a minute that means to build your business. And the time sign means to build your team. Now, I'm kind of breaking these words down. Don't hold it to me. This is my philosophy. When we talk about adding people to team, I'm not going to get hung up on those words. But for this conversation tonight, I'm going to separate out building your business from building your team. Okay. And what I'm going to tell you is this: 95% of the people in my organization and the Juice Plus are attempting to build a business. Now, we talk about wanting to build a team, but we're really building a business. Very few build what I would call a team where the leadership begins to manifest and multiply and grow exponentially. And how does that happen? So here they are. The minus sign means to set goals. The plus sign means to build a business by adding, constantly adding frontline to yourself. Frontline meaning customers and partners. And the time sign means build a team. You're going to see what that means in a minute. I could and would and should spend most of this talk on setting goals and building a business, because that's where most of us are. Most of us are really still in the trenches trying to build a business. And I'll show you what that looks like and help you make sure you're focused on the right things when it comes to building a business. And then the division sign is about how you divide your time, how you set your priorities, how you set your intentions. It's about discernment. It's about deciding what's important now and focusing on that. What's important now? So first we're going to look at setting goals. And it goes without saying that those who lead successful lives, and I didn't say those who make a lot of money. Didn't say those who make national marketing director. I'm saying those who lead successful lives. This is R.A. Kiev and his great little 80-page book that I've worn out. I've read so many times, A Strategy for Daily Living. Those who lead successful lives have made a disciplined effort to systematically pursue an objective rather than to drift aimlessly with no objective. Changes your whole direction of life. Goals, you see, help your mind know what to pay attention to. That's what a goal does. A goal is simply a dream with a deadline. But if you want to be successful in the Juice Plus business, and I'm being very specific now, this is what this call is about. It's going to be because you have determined a specific objective and you pursue it with your whole heart rather than drift aimlessly with no objective. And the result is something like this. When you choose that one thing, your energy is focused. Without it, your energy is going everywhere. And I know as far as I can tell, I think I saw Derek Adair on this call. So he's our other token male. Women particularly pride themselves on being able to multitask. Okay. We all multitask. I can watch TV and text at the same time. That's pretty amazing, right? But you can't multifocus. You can multitask, but you can't multifocus. And in this business, you've got to learn to focus. You've got to learn the art of disciplined focusing on limited things. Now here, all of you, I want you to do this right now. We're just going to have a little exercise. This is not very philosophical, not very profound, but I want you to do something right now. We're going to take about 30 seconds to do it as I speak. I want you to write down on a piece of paper, kind of about like if you were writing on a 3x5 card, put in a little square right there on your notebook paper. Got it? And I want you to write down 3 goals for January through March. The first two are for January through March. First 90 days of the year, January through March. How many preferred customers, new preferred customers, are you going to acquire in the first 90 days of 2021? Write that number down. Think about it. Give you 30 seconds. We're going to do something with it later, okay? And then I want you to write down how many specific number, key to goals, put it on paper, do it on purpose, develop a plan, make it your passion. How many new frontline partners will you sponsor? Those are the two things for January through March. The bigger thing is the title. I want you to write down the title you want to reach in 2021. You have the whole year. This isn't March, a deadline. You may put March 31st as a deadline when you want to make QSSC or SSC or NMD, but you have a whole year. But I want you to choose a title, a goal to reach in 2021. I'll even give you permission to say 39 Club if you're already an NMD or IMD or PMD or EMD, whatever. But I want you to put down the title you want to reach in 2021 and put a date next to it. That this warms up the brain cells for goal setting as a way of life. So we've set goals. Now we're going to build a business. That's about adding. Let's look at that for a second. Building a business. Before we get into it in great depth, there's something every person, we're all building a business. You're going to see that in just a moment. And there's certain monthly priorities you should sort of make a checklist for every month as the month gets started. It's already the 4th of January. Let's pretend it's December 31st or December 30th or even December 25th would be better, 26th, a week before. You want to be thinking about, in the month of January, am I PB qualified? Now, some of you who are new, maybe listening to this for the first time, you just signed up and I'm giving you all this code language. Just bear with me and get with the person who brought you into the business and blame them for your confusion. But we'll get around to making this clearer to you later. But you want to check, here's a checklist. Am I qualified this month? Don't wait till the end of the month. Make that a priority at the beginning of the month. Am I POB qualified? Sales coordinators and above. What's my next title? Maybe you're going to finish your fast track to QSC. Maybe you're going to finish your fast track to sales coordinator. Titled when? How many new customers in January? How many new partners in January? Who are the partners I'm going to help promote and or qualify in the month of January? Partners to Partner Plus to QSC, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of the way you sort of look at the business as you begin the month in terms of building your business. Now, here's what you do. Here's what we do. All of us, PMD pluses, PMD stars, whatever we all keep doing these things, maybe not in the same proportion we once did, but we're still doing the business. We're adding customers. And believe it or not, these are activities held within the realm of what I call building a solid business. Consistent customer care, inspiration, community building. Adding new partners, coaching new partners to the next titles with simplicity and support, promoting, creating, and attending events, teaching the basics over and over and over with confidence and clarity. And may I add, with confidence and clarity. See, I mean, as a minister, I used to learn, if there's a fog in the pew, if there's a fog in the pulpit, there's going to be a mist in the pew. You've got to be clear on what you're doing. And then the last thing is developing partners with goals. Not much done around that, but that's what you're really trying to, maybe not the first month they're in the business. You don't want to overwhelm them, but eventually you want to get people thinking in terms of what do they want? What is their why? What is their short and long-term goals? And you help them with that. And when it comes down to this, there are basically three things that you're doing every month. everybody on this call, if you're building a Juice Plus business, this is what you do to build a business. You add new customers, you add new partners, and you help develop those partners into an understanding of the importance of goals. That's what you do. Building a business is primarily about what you are doing to create consistent residual income from your own customers and with a group of partners, probably a pretty small group, a group of partners looking to you for guidance and motivation to grow their own business. It's mostly about you, okay? To create some income and to help the people that are looking to you for guidance. That's what you do to build a business. Now we're back to build a team. Building a business, remember, is about adding. Building a team. We're not going to dwell on this a lot tonight because this is rarefied air, folks. This is where people step into a different realm and start building something with a legacy, and they start developing people and they become leaders in their own right. Building a team, what does that look like? Here's what it looks like if you're building a team. You do everything in building a business. See the above. You're particularly good at leading by example. The question is, would you follow you today? You keep adding customers, but now you get customers because that becomes a pool of qualified people who are going to be ripe for becoming partners that you're going to retail to recruit. As a leader, you're going to show up. You're going to show up. You're going to slow down. It's not about you now. It's about others. You're going to learn to be present, and you become a world-class listener. You teach to teach to teach. It's multiplication. Those of you who are Bible scholars know the verse in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. Paul says, I entrust these truths to those people, to faithful men and women who will be able to teach others also. That's how he impacted his world, by teaching to teach to teach. Another thing you do is you pay very close attention. You really get good at this. You pay close attention to the numbers and the marketing plan. This isn't an option. This is an essential. This isn't negotiable. It's the way you understand the business. It's the way you can coach people and show them what getting Q to QSC will mean to them, what getting to QSSC will mean to them if they get there. Coach rising leaders to new titles and club levels. And then, of course, it goes without saying, you're going to become so committed, as Jim Rohn would say, working harder on yourself than you work on the business. Not being hard on yourself, but working harder on yourself, studying personal development and leadership. Become a sponge, student for life. Building a team is primarily about what others are doing as a result of your leadership and helping them to realize their goals and dreams. You can tell I'm dragging a little bit here because this is where I get all my hot buttons are in this area. I love this concept. Leadership is about what other people are doing as a result of what you've done with them. But building a team is ultimately about building a team of leaders who have learned to set goals, focus, and discern the priorities of a growing organization of Juice Plus partners and customers. It's about leadership. It's about multiplication. It's about exponential growth. So build a team. And now I would say setting goals and setting intentions are really the bookends to your philosophy of building a business and building a team. Okay? Setting your intentions, division. How do I divide my time? Who do I work with? What are my priorities this month? Who's going to get my time? And one of the things I learned as I got started, the first 5 years of my business, I was all over the place. I was kind of in a fog coming out of a divorce, broke, you know the story, somewhat estranged from my children. Thank God there's so much healing in that area now in my life. But for about 5 years, I was in kind of a quasi fog. So I was just busy. I was so driven. I was so performance driven. I didn't take time to just step back and find that some inner space to discern what was important. I just did things, kept going. So I made national marketing director, burning the candle at both ends, but I had no leadership and it began to fall apart. And so after 5 years, I learned then that I needed to step back and really be clear on with whom I was going to invest my time. So this is the way it looks. In setting your intentions, you have to understand if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. And I do recommend to your study, not just buy it and read it and say, this is a nice book, but if you really want to be a student of this piece of discernment, I get that book called Essentialism. Another thing, now this quote is just, you got to think about this. John Maxwell says, you cannot overestimate the importance of practically the unimportance. You cannot overestimate the unimportance of practically everything. Now you're going to think about that for a while. It's really true. So what's important now? I'm a big football fan and I'm a Roll Tide Roll guy. So I'm really excited about Alabama being in the national championship a week from tonight. Thank you, Terry, for not asking me to do it on the 11th. But the great coach Saban and all great coaches, what they teach their players, the most important thing is to win. What does that mean? Well, you'll talk to these players, these athletes in any field of life, basically. And what they will tell you is that they've been coached so well, they know that regardless of what happened on the last play, regardless of what the other team is planning to do, my job is to do my job and know what's important right now. I don't have time to bemoan the fact that I missed a tackle or I was offsides last play. I got to get focused right now. What's important now? What's my job to do right now? What's important now is the way you win. And if you don't know what's important now for you is to figure out what's important now. And that's what goals are about. That's what setting intentions about. That's what building a business is about. As you build that business, you reach your critical mass and all of a sudden people are stepping out for you to pour your life into who are going to be rising leaders and begin to duplicate your efforts. And that's when your check begins to grow and your confidence begins to grow. If I don't know what's important now, then what's important for me right now, next week, tomorrow, I got to figure out what's important. That's my responsibility, is to figure out what's important. And I would say that one of the things you want to add to your life in 2021, and this has been a gift, strangely, ironically, a gift during this COVID year, is the time I've had to sit and pray and think and meditate upon and reflect upon what's really important to me. And I do it all the time, but now it's been like these longer than usual uninterrupted sessions, and it's been so rich. And I hope that you will take the time as one of the goals you have this year to really meditate on that. Now, here's what I want you to do with those goals. You got 2 goals. You wrote them down. I want you to take a picture of what you wrote down on your phone. Take a picture of it. I want you to text it to your mentor and coach, your upline. Maybe it's me, maybe it's Terry, maybe it's Kathy Crockett, maybe it's Amber Weaver. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's, Judy Strickler. But you wrote down how many goals in the next 90, how many customers in the next 90 days, how many partners in the next 90 days, my next title in 2021, and the date. Take a picture of that. Text it tonight. I'll give you to Central Time. It's 2 minutes till 8 right now. I'll give you till 8 to do that. I'll give you at 8:30. Okay. I love being with y'all. Here's a parting thought. Mary Oliver says, American poet, tell me, please tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? You got to figure that out. You got to decide what's important right now. What are you going to do with your one wild and precious life? Man, you guys are just precious to me, and I love all of you. Look forward to seeing you. Don't forget the Winter Summit this Saturday. Some breaking news coming. So it's going to be really special. Let me end this right here and say thank you for being with me. Done.
All right. Thank you for being with us, David. This was spectacular. I can't think of a better way to start 2021. Humbled and grateful. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Peace and
Take
blessings,
care.
everybody. This Saturday, what's important to you is this